Hi, my name is Amber, and I am a survivor of child grooming and child sexual assault. The reason I'm making this video and, starting this channel in the first place is I've seen a lot of propaganda using child victims to further their political means. And that's not okay. When you do that, when you make completely unfounded, unbased statements like trans people are grooming your children, like LGBT people are grooming your children, you are actively harming those children, and you are making it far easier on the perpetrators to stay in hiding. I also see people making fun of parents teaching their children consent. There's a reason that, they have to do that. And, I'll be using my own personal experiences as a child survivor to help kind of add to the empirical evidence. I'm sorry, I pause a lot. I want people to know that it is incredibly just it's evil, is what it is. It's cruel. You are making it easier on the perpetrators to groom these children and get away with sexual assault. Because a lot of people who do these things are not strangers. They are not trans people. They're not LGBT people. Can they be those people? Yes, absolutely. Because they're people. They're human beings. That's the only reason. Children get taught consent because it is easy to manipulate them. To manipulate them into performing sexual acts, to ignoring sexual acts being forced upon them, even in family settings or friend settings, because most of the time a child sexual offender is either the family member, a friend, or someone who works with them, like a church or, a teacher, something like that. The grooming process it's kind of twofold, because in order to get access to this child, the perpetrator will have to be grooming the parents as well, or a parent, depending on whatever situation you're in. They will ingratiate themselves to that parent, to the parent, basically, the person in charge of the child, the person who takes care of them. Sorry, I will let y'all know it's extremely hard to keep thoughts going in a single strand sometimes. Just speaking from personal experience, I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which basically is PTSD complicated by multiple events happening throughout your life. Like, PTSD is usually like 1, maybe 2 experiences, and complex will be, through your life, basically. My story is that I was sexually abused by my paternal grandfather, and I never knew what was going on was abuse. Most children do not know what is going on is abuse. And I feel like I never stood a chance. Like, my earliest memory is of abuse. So I can't say my situation would have been helped with, you know, teaching me consent, because I was a little baby. I was very small. My first memory is right around when I was 3. So more than likely, it was happening before then as well. And it was easy for the perpetrator to get into, to get access to children because, you know, he was our grandfather. My parents trusted him. But another thing I would say is, when we would have family get-togethers or reunions or something, Christmas, I do remember his hands, he would have his hands under my dress as if he was just holding me, and he would touch me in my private areas, my vagina. It was very rare that he touched my butt, but a lot of the times it was mostly that. You can see I'm kind of getting some of my symptoms just because, like, I'm even thinking about it. What I mean to say with this video, what I basically want to say, even with this channel, the rhetoric that some people are spewing is not true, and it is actively harmful, because it lets the real perpetrators, the real offenders, slip under the radar. Because if you're worried about this stranger over here, then you're not worried about the actual offender right behind your back. And that is another reason to teach your children consent as soon as they can start understanding words. Basically, this is my body boundary. Anyone who enters that boundary without my consent, without me saying it's okay, that is something worth telling your parents about, or your guardian. The fact that some people are making light of consent boundaries and saying that they regularly violate their children's body boundaries without their consent, that is something you really need to think about for yourself. You need to understand that when children are being abused, they don't know that they are being abused, even if it hurts. They think whatever that perpetrator tells them. A lot of the times it's showing, you're showing me you love me, or, you know, you turn it into a game. And I'll get more into that as well as the time goes. I hope to, with this channel, just shed a little light on what it actually is like to be a child in that situation. Because while it feels normal to me, while abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, it's normal to me, it's not normal to other people. And now that I am understanding that as I get older, it makes me sad that so many people are making fun of violating a child's consent, even if it's just a hug. Because if you teach that child that they have to accept a hug, they have to accept their friend or relative's attention, they're not going to know what to do when that person is abusing them, like sexually abusing them. And another myth I want to kind of debunk is it is not always violent. Sexual abuse is not always violent, and most of the time it's not. Most of the time it is a relative or a friend of the family or a teacher or school person. Sorry. I want to leave this in because it is child abuse, sexual abuse is a time bomb in and of itself. Because when you are a child going through such horrific abuse, you completely dissociate. You leave your body. In fact, I'm still trying to remember a good half of my life through therapy. And if you have been assaulted, if you have a child who's been assaulted, please make sure that they get the therapy that they need. Please get the therapy that you need. Because as a secondary survivor, it can be so horrible. Because rape and sexual abuse doesn't just affect the person being abused. It affects everyone around them. Everyone that cares about them. I'll never know what I would be like without my abuse. And I mourn that. That girl is dead. She died long, long ago. I think I'm getting a little off track here. Basically, what I mean to say is please teach your children consent and do not just make fun of it. It's not just people being snowflakes. It's not people being overly sensitive. It is people who have been raped and assaulted as children who need to understand that your body is the only thing that no one can take from you. Your body is yours and yours alone. And anyone who violates your personal space like that, be it family or friend, without your consent, that is not okay. And you need to have them apologize. And you need to actually teach those people as well. Like, you need to let them know, hey, I'm teaching my child, how to avoid being hurt. So if you could participate in that with me, make sure that you ask for a hug or whatever you want to do before going in for it. Just have them ask. And if the child says no, let them say no. That is the easiest way for you to avoid your child being abused. Trans people are not coming after your children. LGBT people are not coming after your children. They are part of the human population, so of course there will be predators among them. But most of the time, they're just victims. Saying that trans people, LGBT, QIA people are evil, or child groomers, or teachers even. The current... I'll get into that later. This video is getting a little bit long. But Matt Walsh, Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, I really hope that if you see this, that you will take time to contemplate my words. And I want you to be able to see it from the side of a child victim. It is soul-crushing. And when you rape a child, you've killed them. That child is dead. And they're never coming back. Please just be kind to your children. You don't know what they're going through. You know what you went through. And as a parent, a lot of the times your abuse will come up. Your own abuse when that child hits that age. And that can be absolutely horrible. I don't have children, so I haven't experienced it, but several of my peers have. And it's horrible, they say. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Please just be kind to other people. Trans people aren't coming after your kids. LGBT people are not coming after your kids. The people who are the ones already in your life. And that is an extremely difficult thing to be able to handle. I know there are so many people out there that have experienced the same as I. And I hope that you are able to heal even just a little bit. But it's okay not to be okay. That's really all I wanted to say. So, I don't know how many times I'm going to upload. I'm going to try to do it once a week. I don't know if I'll have a set schedule because I do have periods of dissociation. I will forget what day it is and all that. But I will try to keep up at least once a week. If this has happened to you, I am so sorry. And for those of you making light of child sexual abuse by using it as your politics, shame on you. And I hope that you understand where I'm coming from. And I hope that you realize the damage that you've caused. And I hope you decide to make a positive change. For the children, for your children. Alright, yeah. That's all I wanted to say. If you've been through this, safe hugs. I believe that you will be, well, you don't necessarily end up okay, but hopefully things will get better for you. Bye.